Today we got Captain Marvel taking on Rogue. Who wins? Well, let's find out. After encountering the Kree hero Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers was accidentally subjected to otherworldly radiation that transformed her into a superhuman warrior. Calling herself Miss Marvel, she established herself as one of the most powerful and prominent heroes on Earth, both as a solo heroine and as a member of the Avengers. She has now adopted the mantle of Captain Marvel for herself. When she originally became Miss Marvel, Carol's strength level was around 50 tons under normal conditions, but her powers were upgraded to where she can lift over 100 tons. Recent tests by Hank Pym even suggested that her strength is still growing, and that theoretically has no limit. Carol has the ability to move at supersonic speeds, and can reach even greater velocities when the time arrives. She can also fly, and because of her time as a skilled and decorated pilot, she is an expert at aerial combat, and can easily outmaneuver most opponents in the air. Along with her speed, she possesses great superhuman agility and reflexes, and has superhuman stamina that allows her to fight for 24 hours before tiring. During the Skrull invasion, Carol single-handedly fought off a massive Skrull invasion for an entire day without rest, and defended the city until help arrived. She's impervious to most forms of damage, and can take an absolutely insane amount of punishment. She's bulletproof, resistant to rockets, mortar shells, and bombs, and is durable enough to take repeated blows from stronger opponents. She's also impervious to most forms of energy attacks. Those kind of attacks actually make her stronger and more powerful. That's because of her ability to absorb all forms of energy. She also has the ability to project extremely powerful photon blast, which are roughly equal in force to Iron Man's full strength repulsor blast. Then Captain Marvel can also turn into Binary if she's pushed. And Binary has unquantifiable strength, can move at light speed, and has cosmic awareness, which allows her to perceive all types of energy patterns. And then, in the corner, Rogue. Once a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Rogue has since become a veteran member of the X-Men. She's a mutant with the ability to drain a person's essence just by physically touching them, giving them a bioelectric shock, while at the same time synthesizing into her body their physical skills and superpowers, and even occasionally their memories and personality traits. Prolonged physical touch can even be lethal to whoever she's touching. She's absorbed the powers of She-Hulk and knocked her out, absorbed Wolverine's powers and knocked him out. She knocked out Falcon with just a touch, and Rogue can even absorb powers despite being in astral form in a different dimension. She's also pretty skilled at using her newly absorbed powers and abilities, like when she absorbed Captain America and Thor in order to take on the Avengers, when she absorbed the Avengers and other heroes' powers in order to hold back a Celestial alongside Deathseed Sentry. However, her power absorption does have its limits. Absorbing Juggernaut's and Magneto's powers didn't faze them. She's struggled using Storm and Scarlet Witch's powers in the past, and after absorbing multiple Avengers' powers, Moon Knight touched her and she lost control. That's because she doesn't just absorb their powers and abilities, but also their thoughts and memories, and all those voices in her head can definitely overwhelm her. Now, Rogue is kind of famous for permanently absorbing Miss Marvel's powers way back in the day, while she was still working as a mutant extremist and terrorist alongside Mystique. During this time, she possessed immense superhuman strength, speed, and durability, but she lost those powers and abilities many years ago. Instead, more recently, when she was absorbing the powers of the Avengers to lift up a Celestial, she accidentally and permanently absorbed all of Wonder Man's powers. With these abilities, she's strong enough to punch Juggernaut through a wall, knock away the Hulk, briefly fight against Claw, a magically inverted Hulk, and she even accidentally killed a villain with a punch while holding back, just because she had no idea how strong Wonder Man really was. She's also fast enough to intercept and catch bullets, and is able to quickly fly from orbit into Earth's atmosphere. Rogue is even so durable that Sam Wilson actually broke his hand just by punching her. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, right away, I want to dispel the idea this fight is going to basically be the same as Captain Marvel versus Wonder Man. It's not. Because even though Rogue has the powers of Wonder Man, and based upon feats, Simon is more powerful than Carol, Rogue hasn't really shown that same level of power or control. She hasn't tapped into the true potential of her power, although she is getting stronger and stronger each day. Basically, what I'm saying is that this fight isn't Captain Marvel versus Wonder Man, it's Captain Marvel versus Rogue. And I think that fight is a whole lot more interesting. So the first thing I want to take a look at is physicality. Which one of these two girls is stronger? Well, I'd say that's gotta be Carol. Just for starters, Carol has lifted up parts of a skyscraper, shattered massive asteroids, thrown objects into different states, and probably most impressively, lifted up a massive celestial all by herself. A celestial who was the size of several city blocks. Basically, Captain Marvel has received a massive upgrade as of late. And right now, well, she's looking like one of the strongest women on Earth. She's battled against the Hulk and She-Hulk, punched foes through several buildings, and Carol has even knocked out Nuclear Man, Blastar, Ronan the Accuser, Vision, Giant Man, knocked out Iron Patriot and Valkyrie just one punch. Captain Marvel also loves to fly into fights and slam her opponents with full force, knocking the Hulk into the ground, or actually matching Wonder Man, which resulted in a massive shockwaves all around them. But, on the other hand, Rogue is by no means weak. I mean, she does have the powers of Wonder Man after all. And with this strength, she's briefly battled against the Hulk, or a magically inverted version of the Hulk, punched Juggernaut through walls. And Rogue actually has a tendency to use her speed in a fight a whole lot like Carol, such as when Rogue flew straight through Red Onslaught's head. However, Rogue has also expressed some clear limits as well, like Juggernaut easily overpowering her, the High Evolutionary and Ultron standing up to her punches with no difficulty, and try as hard as she can't hold back a rampaging Hulk. Now, granted, you could definitely argue that Captain Marvel has those same limitations, but overall, still believe that Carol is stronger. Carol is faster as well. Now, granted, Rogue has been able to quickly fly from orbit into Earth's atmosphere, but Carol has done that same thing. And while Rogue has used her super speed to land countless punches on Deadpool, this was while she was under the control of Red Skull. So we can't really consider that to be necessarily in character for her. Besides, it didn't even knock Deadpool out. On the other hand, Captain Marvel's been able to fly around the world, or into outer space in just seconds. She's moved faster than Ronan or Vision could react to or even process. And her reaction times are so great that time seems to slow down to a crawl for her. She was the second fastest Avenger to complete a training routine, second only to Quicksilver. War Machine has stated before that she's faster than Iron Man, and Carol's actually backed this up as well, as she's dodged an energy attack that actually caught Tony. However, it's durability where these two heroes are just drastically light years apart from each other. Captain Marvel is so much more durable than Rogue. She really is. Yes, Rogue has been able to briefly fight against the Hulk or Juggernaut. She's bulletproof. And Sam Wilson has actually broken his hand by punching her. But on the other end of the spectrum, she's been stunned or staggered by punches from Kamala Khan, the new Miss Marvel, and a relatively unknown Inhuman, both of whom aren't nearly as strong as Captain Marvel. And really, Carol has shown some remarkable durability. I'm talking taking punches from Hulk, Wonder Man, Ronan the Accuser, Gladiator, Iron Man, and Hulkbuster. She's also taken energy blasts from Nuclear Man, Iron Man, Ultron, Ronan, even Thanos. When we're comparing these two, Carol's durability is just on a whole other level. And that could be such an important factor in this fight. Because even though they both have super strength and speed, the fact that Carol is more durable means that she's going to be dealing more damage to Rogue, and she won't be as injured by Rogue's attacks. However, as always, it's not just about physicality. We've also got to take a look at fighting skills and abilities. Now, these two heroes have actually fought several times before in the past, and Rogue actually usually comes out on top in those encounters. In their first fight, while Rogue was still a bad girl working with Mystique, she permanently absorbed Carol's powers, and for years, Carol Danvers lived inside of Rogue's fractured mind. Rogue eventually came over to the light, and worked with Professor X to restore Captain Marvel to fly high once again, but this still severely affected Carol, and she shares no love towards Rogue. Mostly because Rogue stole her memories, stole her past, stole her powers, and left her as just a husk of a former self, essentially leaving her for dead in several ways. Yeah, I'd imagine that would make you not like someone. And then there was their fight in Avengers vs. X-Men, where Rogue really let loose of her power absorption abilities and beat Carol. However, this isn't that fight. Mostly because Rogue has Wonder Man's powers, that really does shake things up. With Miss Marvel or Wonder Man's powers, Rogue really does tend to act like a flying brick. She hits hard, and she hits fast, and really relies on her physical powers to overpower an opponent. But because of this, she has a tendency to only rely upon her new super strength or super speed, neglecting her mutant abilities. And that isn't going to play out too well for her in this fight against Captain Marvel. Mostly because, as we've already seen, Carol is still stronger, faster, and more durable than Rogue. On top of that, she's got her energy powers. Captain Marvel's photon blasts have injured Iron Man and destroyed the Hulkbuster armor, floored Gamora and hurt Proxima Midnight, destroyed spaceships, buildings, or robots and monsters. And if Captain Marvel is smart, which she is, and if she's learned something from her previous fights with Rogue, which I'm hoping she has, Carol should really rely on her photon blast to carry her here. End of the day, I really see this one playing to Captain Marvel's favor. Yes, Rogue has beaten her in the past, but these are really different instances, and even different characters that we're talking about today. Captain Marvel has been getting a massive push lately. Because of that, a nice power upgrade as well. And while Rogue has Wonder Man's powers, she's going to tend to not use her power absorption abilities. End of the day, I gotta give this one to Captain Marvel. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos, just one every single day. And I will see you next time.